let's bring on the guy who went 4-1 in his debut weekend of doing Rakin with Jake. And that is Jake Arnold. What's going on, brother?
Man, not much. How are you? Kind of excited, glad that we went 4-1, but can't believe that Kentucky is as bad as they looked. That was horrendous.
Well, so what they did is they knew Tennessee fans put money on it for them, and they hate us so much that they'd rather the team lose so that we didn't win than for them to just do their job and beat South Carolina. I agree with you on that one. That was a unexpected turn of events there by Kentucky, but it was expected, sort of, in a way.
Yeah, well, I'm glad I stuck with the gut and went with the under on that Cal Auburn game as well, because
that was a solid pick.
That was atrocious.
Yeah, so let's review the picks, right? So we went 4-1. It was Tennessee. It was Tennessee. It was Texas. I thought. Who was the covers that you picked?
Oh gosh, that was last
week. The under, of Tennessee, course, on the Auburn Cal.
Yeah, Tennessee covered. USF covered. Let's see, Kentucky did not cover, and then who was the other one was Duke.
Yeah, Duke +3.
Duke. Yep. Yeah. Duke, USF, Tennessee, Kentucky missed, of course, but the under on the Auburn Cal was good, and USF did. I mean, I was almost wondering if we should have took the money line there for a little bit. That was crazy, man. That was wild. But Jake, my man, we appreciate you on. We're Rakin with Jake, brother. What are the matchups you're looking for this week, and where do we think that we should put our money?
Yeah. I think the biggest one, and I checked all these last at like 110, but I think they're staying pretty accurate. The biggest one I'm going to start with is going to be the Alabama at Wisconsin under 53.5. I think that pick just shows everything that you need to see in terms of, what ball is about from a traditional program. I mean, both of these teams are trying to do the same thing. They're trying to establish the run. They're staying even on heavy defense. I actually looked Wisconsin in the last 5 games. Now, remember, these teams both we're looking back in the last season, but they've allowed Wisconsin's allowed 17.5 in the last 5 games. Alabama at 16.8. And again, you look at those numbers and you really see for Wisconsin. I didn't know this until I did my research, but Wisconsin looks scary. They're having a really good job holding on to the ball. Now, they've played nobody. They've played absolutely nobody, but they're still averaging, close to 4 yards per carry. They're stopping the run. Alabama's doing a great job of it as well, but, they showed a little suspect when you looked at the USF stuff. I'm just looking back, but again, going back to it, the time of possession, both of these teams love time of possession. They want to hold the ball. They want to run it down your throat. They want to choke it, and they want to hit you on a play action or hit you on a couple of dink and dunks here and there, but they're never going to stray away from the run. So I think the under 53.5 is money. I love that one. That was the one that first drew to my eyes. Following to number 2, and I think if I could have an upset pick of the week, this might be one. I'm going out on a limb here. I think I like Tulane over Oklahoma, but I'm taking Tulane obviously plus 14.5.
I agree with that. I agree with that 100%.
Wow.
Tulane is a solid team, and they almost beat Kansas State last week.
Yeah,
and that was my upset pick of the week. But I absolutely I didn't realize it was a 15 spot. I guess Vegas is not taking into consideration how Oklahoma played last night. So, yeah, I do like that spot. I'm taking Tulane. That's a great bet there.
That's just what I saw earlier. It could be updated now. I'm checking as we speak, but it was – okay, 14.5 is what FanDuel has it at now.
It's already going down. So many people bet on it. It's already going down. So, yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So, get on top of it.
That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Yeah, so – Jackson Arnold, if you look at the quarterback for Oklahoma, his average QBR the past 2 games, and they played Temple, who is really, really bad. And honestly, I can't even remember who Oklahoma played last week. Who did Oklahoma play? Do we know?
They played
Houston.
Houston. Houston.
Oh,
say another red.
Yeah, I rarely looked at that game. But the big thing is Temple's terrible.
I was going to say Houston, by the way, who lost to UNLV in week 1. So Oklahoma's really not played solid competition this year at all.
Jackson Arnold's QBR average is 38.5. It's probably the lowest QBR I've seen in a Power 5.
That's solid. So bad. Okay.
back to it, just to show why I think that this is the case. Tulane had 342 total yards versus Kansas State, who, in my opinion, Kansas State could essentially be their favorite to win their conference. And so looking at it, they're averaging right now 4 yards a rush. Again, Kansas State, they want to stop the run. I've tried to harp on this every single week. Stopping the run's how you win these ball games, and I'm sticking to these over-unders. But I think that even then, too, if you look back at it, the over-under for this game is at 54.5. So that's a little side if you're listening. This game is super, super promising on the spread for everything around. I think that Tulane could come out money line, probably would look pretty, but I wanted to take the points as soon as possible because that's the guarantee. And so going in, I've actually got a 3 and 4. I love this next game. I think UCF at TCU is a fun one. That is just a wild game to me in general. Talk about two programs that are trending in opposite directions. And really in kind of look at what teams and programs can do quickly. Back to what your point was saying, Skylar. Teams can now build so quickly and get the resources that they desire now that you're seeing teams get guys like KJ Jefferson, they're absolutely dominant. Now, they played nobody. I'm telling you, UCF has played nobody. There is nothing there, so it's going to be hard to see. But if you look at what TCU has done, TCU's throwing the ball 42 times. They threw it against Stanford. They barely pulled it away. They're going against Long Island. Their quarterback still can't break 100 QBR, and they only have 3.4 yards per attempt. I mean, they don't have any sustenance here for me to have any faith in TCU. Now, if you look at UCF now, I trust KJ Jefferson. They're leaning on the run. They're averaging probably about 7 yards per rush. And KJ Jefferson's been around for a long, long time. So, I mean, there's no question there's a lot of fun things you can do just with this game in general. But I guess I should be pointing this way. But it's fun, though. I mean, I really think that at 3 and 4 is going to be a big one. So
is UCF favored to win this game?
No. It's +2 last I checked. Blows your mind, right? I mean, Vegas just throws out numbers and you catch them on Sunday. So
I'm gonna get on top of that one pretty quick.
So that one stayed. Okay, cool. And then final in this one, oh gosh, this one hurts my feelings to say because I don't like Notre Dame, but I agree. I think their defense is so good. But Notre Dame at Purdue at -11.5. I mean, the thing that we have to understand is that programs can pivot and some programs can't. And I think that Notre Dame is having a little bit of an identity crisis here. And so what I think is going to happen is what you see when any great program loses. I mean, think about when Alabama was in the days where they were constantly winning 10 wins. We don't think about the years they win the Natties. We think about what they're doing as a program from X to X year. Notre Dame's going to beat the brakes off Purdue. I don't care if it's at Purdue. I think that I could even see putting -20 on Notre Dame. Again, Purdue has a new quarterback. They're not really finding a lot of success with it. I know that they're a team that's somewhat of a mid-tier in their conference, but again, Notre Dame's got just too many tools in the tool shed to go out and not be fired up for 3 to 4 days of game prep and play some good football. Regardless if they have to throw the ball, I don't think they will. Purdue did not look like they could stop the run against an efficient team, and Notre Dame can definitely establish a run. They just got to remember what their identity truly is and, again, establish that run. So I think that this will be a fine one. I think it'll be a slow bleed. I think it'll hurt to watch. So, but I feel good about that Notre Dame -11.5.
So Jake, I've got one I want to throw out to you just to see what your thoughts are on it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely.
Best bet, Georgia -24.5 over Kentucky.
See, and that's the thing is these teams, they play so poorly at football. I hate watching Georgia plays the slow choke, and they play the same thing offensively, but it's starting to transition out to spread, whereas Kentucky, I think, is a year or two behind. So I don't know, man. I mean, 24.5 for teams that want to run it, wait until about the 9 second on the play clock and snap it, and then maybe do 2 or 3 plays of tempo when you're getting yards per game. I wouldn't touch it. But 24.5, I mean, Georgia should take care of it. Georgia should definitely take care of it.
South Carolina beat them by 25.
I don't know what that is. That felt like a fever dream.
Hang on. South Carolina beat them at 25 at Kroger Field.
Yeah, that's beyond me. I mean, I remember the days when my first experience at Kroger Field was Jeff George under Butch Jones. We played him at night. And I remember I think it was one of the final plays, we had caught the pass, I think, to win the game, maybe 3 to 7 yards in front of the end zone to lose. And it was just awful. But they played swag surfing. And my gosh, I mean, I'm almost positive if you could live bet swag surfing for a team that has any bit of a lead, you'd win. But yeah, that place was fired up. I guess it wasn't a night game. That might be why.
Yeah,
so,
right
and
on.
the Ohio podcast joins in talking about your Notre Dame pick there. He says West Lafayette is a weird place to play. Some strange things happen there. He would know as a Buckeye fan. So,
okay. That's what I like to. So I'm kind of a Buckeye guy. Their freshman wide receiver. What is this? Is Smith? Is that
it's Jackson Smith, I think, or Jeremiah Smith?
Number four. That's a cat, dude. I mean, that is a cat.
Jeremiah
Smith. That's a certified bag chaser. Yeah, I think it might be either Jeremiah or Zachariah. But regardless, that dude is good. I was really impressed with him.
He said Jeremiah Smith in the text box there,
but
gotcha. Yeah, that's a dog.
But Jake, if you're a little bit of a Buckeye fan, absolutely go tune in to the Ohio podcast. You got Eric, Chris, JR, all those guys. They're fantastic guys. They know their Buckeye stuff, and they're the ones that got us into the College Huddle. They invited us in, so there's some fantastic guys. Absolutely check out their channel. They go live. What is it? 8 Eastern time tonight? Is that right, Eric? You can comment in on that to let us know. But yeah, the OHIO podcast on Facebook, YouTube, every Sunday night at, I believe it's 8 Eastern. They also do a call-in show every Thursday night. I've called in a few times there. Just to talk to them, man. They're awesome guys to talk to. He does say 8 p.m. Eastern time, so absolutely go check out their channel if you're a Buckeye fan.
Right on. So in recap, that's I think obviously you got Notre Dame minus the points. You think they're going to cover because you think they're going to come out swinging after their embarrassing loss to Northern Illinois. But run it through real quick on the other 4. We got the under on UCF, TCU at 63.5.
Yep. And then we had. I also like the UCF money line again. UCF money line. At this point, I would just straight up take it. There's no reason to take this too.
I will say this just for Rakin with Jake purposes: do not parlay these picks ever.
No. I'm sick.
No. I'm telling this for the viewers. If y'all take, we went 4-1 last week, but if you parlayed it, you got no money. You lost money. So don't ever parlay the picks. All of these picks, do them separately and bet the same amount on all 5, and then that way, if we go 4-1, mostly depending on the odds, you win money. I mean, especially if we went 4-1. Last week was great. Just want to throw out that disclaimer: do not parlay these picks. Pick these as their own picks. But UCF cover a money line, and then also the UCF under. Bet those separately. Don't do the parlay thing.
I'd like to add. We cannot insure gambling or anything of that nature. So I hate to tell you,
we have the hotline number. Like if you got an addiction problem, we're gonna throw that out there. Michael's got it pulled up probably.
I'm about to have it pulled up for us.
Yeah, I was gonna say. But so UCF money line covering, doing the under. Let's see. There was another one in there.
Yep. And then I like Tulane plus. I guess now 15.5. If you can get it at 14.5, take it. I love that one. Could see even as close to you want to ride that one. I could even see that one being an upset, like y'all said. I really do. But I think comfortably at 15.5. It's just so early in the season right now. You're really kind of getting a grasp on what people are doing. And then I really feel good about that under. I mean, really, that's the one that I like that one a lot just because of identity football. Now, granted, who knows? I could be wrong, but 4-1 sounds good. I still can't believe the one that I had wrong was the one I had wrong. So,
So Jake, making some people some money right now. 4-1 last week, and also here is the hotline. We will have this up on every show. If you do have a gambling problem, please call the number here: 1-800-889-9789. Do not bet any money that you do not have. Please bet responsibly if you do.
I'm not gonna lie, Jake, you got lucky. I got a little bit better than Roman noodles this week. I was able to actually go out and eat, and I actually did a bet outside your best bets that won a lot of money. So they did like a parlay thing. This sidetrack. I'm so sorry, but they did a Tennessee won each quarter by 3.5 points or more, but it was a parlay. So like they had to win each quarter by more than a field goal, and I took that. I'm like, I think the boys can get it done. They ended up being like plus 1,200 bet. And I put, yeah. I won some money on that one. That was a great one. That was a solid bet. That was a solid bet. But anyways, so we won big this week. And strap in and let's do it again next week. That's all I gotta say. But Jake, we appreciate you coming on, man. Thank you so much for the picks. Hell of a week last night, we should say. So thank you for coming on, brother. And we look forward to seeing you next week, man.
Absolutely appreciate y'all having me on. See y'all.
Yes, sir. Go Big Orange.